Alright, it's 2025 and Busch Gardens Williamsburg just turned 50 years old. For a park known for pushing boundaries, this felt like the perfect moment to deliver something bold, a record-breaking thrill ride to mark a half-century of legacy. Take King's Dominion just an hour away and also celebrating 50 years, which opened the Raptera. So when the park confirmed it was building a brand new roller coaster to celebrate the occasion, expectations were sky high. But what we ended up getting was different. This is Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge, a family inverted coaster that revives a legend from the past. But before we break down the ride itself, we have to talk about how weird the path to this coaster really was. In early 2020, leaked concept art, courtesy of BGW fans, revealed plans for Drachenspire, a 355-foot tall multi-launch shuttle coaster that would have shattered records. But as the pandemic hit, construction plans stalled and ultimately the project was scrapped. Later, a new wave of speculation emerged when documents surfaced, showing a waiver for a 220-foot RMC ground-up hybrid coaster. It was promising, but then, silence. SeaWorld never acknowledged it publicly again, and nobody knows what happened. Fast forward to late 2024, the park opens public voting on 3 potential coaster names: Wolfstrom, translating to Wolfstorm, Wolf's Reign, and Geisterwolf, meaning Ghost Wolf, following a similar fan poll format used for Invader back in 2017. But as we know today, none of those names made the final cut. Instead, Busch Gardens brought back a name that hadn't echoed through the forest in 15 years. But now, the real question is, was this the right ride for the park's 50th anniversary, or is it just a nostalgic play meant to please but not provoke? Let's find out. The Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge, is a family B&M inverted coaster and only the second of its kind in the United States, following Phoenix Rising, located at its sister park, Busch Gardens Tampa. The ride pays a tribute to the original Big Bad Wolf and continues the story of the aero-suspended coaster that operated from 1984 to 2009. The original Big Bad Wolf had a large fan base, many of whom were disappointed when the ride was removed. But with aerodynamics going bankrupt in 2002, maintaining the attraction became increasingly difficult. Its spiritual successor, for Bolton, opened in 2012, a well-themed family multi-launch coaster that retained the iconic drop over the Rhine River and even featured a hidden Easter egg referencing the old Big Bad Wolf. But for die-hard fans, that wasn't enough. The Big Bad Wolf was one of Busch Gardens' most beloved rides for over the past 2 decades. The original aero-suspended coaster had riders swooping through a Bavarian village featuring 2 lift hills, 2,800 feet of track, and a top speed of 48 miles per hour. So when fans heard the Wolf was making a return, anticipation skyrocketed thanks to the original's legendary status. First of all, this isn't just a name slapped onto a ride, it's a deliberate statement, a clear reflection of Busch Gardens' history, showing where they came from and how they are choosing to honor their past. The ride is located in a place some fans might recognize, the original Drachenspire station. This area has sat mostly quiet for decades, a space filled with potential. Busch Gardens have been trying to bring something here for years, a worthy successor that wouldn't just fill a gap, but tell a story, and they finally got that with the Wolf's Revenge. As you make your way over to the ride, you will see that themed clock towers and beer barrels line the entrance path, evoking the festive spirit of Oktoberfest. And as you make your way through the queue line, there are some photos that depict the original Big Bad Wolf's destruction, the legend that started it all. Inside of the station, there are some cool looking chandeliers, some scratch marks, and a bell in order to warn people in case there's any danger or an important announcement. But after all this time, the village has finally been rebuilt, and the people of Oktoberfest are celebrating again. They peacefully await the night. But then, all of a sudden, the bell rings. A ride operator will ring the bell, indicating that there's danger, and it ends up being the Wolf making a return. As you make your way up the lift, you can feel that you are going pretty fast for a lift hill. This is rumored that you are running from the Wolf. The maximum height is 67 feet. After reaching the top, you plunge down slightly to the right. You will then reach top speeds of 40 miles per hour. After the drop, you will go into an airtime hill and immediately get thrown to the left for a brief moment before getting swung back to the right. You then will go into another airtime hill as you're turning left you hear clock tower bells and howling noises, and you enter the gates of the Bavarian village. You will be tossed to the right aggressively and do a low to the ground helix around the village houses, seeing some of the wolves' damage. After this, you get some more low to the ground moments, passing a lumberjack shaft, and just like the original, there are 2 liftos. You rise up for the finale, luring the wolf in, and on your way down, you can see that there's a trap to catch the wolf. You rise up, jumping over the trap as the wolf follows. You do a low to the ground turn towards the right, and when you go back left, you can see a celebration occurring. There are beer on the tables with beer barrels, and Oktoberfest ribbons showing that the wolf has been caught and the town is now safe. You then will turn right into the final brake run. So, here are my final thoughts. First, I think this ride is definitely targeting a very specific audience. The original Big Bad Wolf had a massive fan base, but it operated from 1984 to 2009, meaning it last ran 16 years ago. So this version clearly aims at an older generation. It's kind of surreal to think about, but people who rode the original as kids are now riding this with their own children, sharing stories of what once was. And what's even crazier is that younger riders today will eventually get nostalgic about this version. Also, for many kids, the Wolf's Revenge will be their first big kid coaster after Grover's Alpine Express in the Sesame Street area. But here's where things get interesting. It's a bit wild, but a lot of new people that didn't ride the original coaster but have yet ridden this have questioned, was this ride really that good back in the day? Because now we have the Wolf's Revenge, which is actually a bit funny now because it's shorter, it's slower, and smaller. And some say it's not worth the wait, nor is it very thrilling. And yes, it's a family coaster and not supposed to be overly intense. But after 2 big leaked ideas, you can't help but feel a little disappointed as it feels like Busch Gardens played it safe. But you have to question, why play it safe? Why go with this? Because nostalgia sells. But it's more than just a marketing hook. It's meant to tap into emotions, memories, and remind longtime fans of where Busch Gardens came from, and to also build a bridge between generations where parents and kids can share a story. So, was this the right choice? Honestly, it depends on who you ask. If you are looking for a family-friendly, narrative-driven ride, then the Big Bad Wolf: The Wolf's Revenge is perfect for you. But if you're a thrill seeker like me, then this feels like a missed opportunity, and here's why I think that. Busch Gardens had the stage set for something truly groundbreaking, as we saw with their leaked projects. Out of their last 4 roller coasters, 3 have been family designed, and before that they had Tempesto, a Skyrocket 2 model, which isn't the best received, but before that they made a great family ride in Verbolten and a junior coaster in Grover's Alpine Express. In my opinion, the 4 Pantheon, their last big ride was in Griffin, and I would have liked to have been blown away for their 50th anniversary. I wanted to hear that Busch Gardens is back on top. And yes, I know this is one of the best theme parks in the world, but I don't know, maybe I'm a bit harsh because this is my home park. Anyways, my final score for the Big Bad Wolf: The Wolf's Revenge is a 7. It's not meant to be all intense, but for what it's worth, it actually does a pretty good job. The theming is the strongest we've seen from Busch Gardens since Verbolten probably. The pacing is consistent, and the ride is glass smooth. And from B&M, that was great to hear because I was starting to think it was slipping or on a bit of a downfall, but they proved me wrong with this one. And I love the night ride on this thing. Seriously, it transfers the ride completely and I highly suggest it. With all that being said, it's not a thrill machine, but it's not trying to be. It's a well-executed, story-driven, and multi-generational experience that honors the past, but also gives something new for today's riders. In my opinion, it may have not been the right choice, but the wolf still howls, just a little softer than before.